You've probably said some version of this. I'd change things, but the system won't let me. Here's an uncomfortable finding from real psychological research. For most people, most of the time, that's not quite true. The system isn't what's holding the door shut. You are, using 5 specific mental patterns that were installed so early and so quietly, you've never once questioned them. By the end of this video, you'll be able to name all 5 in your own life. And unlike the videos before this one ends with something you can actually start undoing today. We covered how other people manipulate you. This is the manipulator you've never once suspected, your own mind. 5 mechanisms, each backed by real research, each one building on the last. The first one explains why trying eventually starts to feel pointless, even when it isn't.
Number 1. Learned helplessness. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman ran a series of studies that became foundational to this entire field. The short version? When subjects experienced repeated setbacks they genuinely couldn't control, they eventually stopped trying to escape, even later when escape became fully possible. The helplessness wasn't caused by the situation anymore. It was learned, and it outlived the situation that taught it. Here's the part that matters for you. This doesn't require anything dramatic. Ordinary, repeated disappointment. A boss who never notices effort. A body that doesn't respond to how hard you try. A goal you failed at 3 times can install the exact same pattern. You stop trying not because trying stopped working, but because your brain generalized from a specific past failure to trying never works, which is a much bigger, much less accurate claim. The test. Ask whether you've actually tested the current situation, or whether you're running on evidence from a completely different one. Most self-declared helplessness is really outdated data. Number 2. Self-fulfilling prophecy. This is one of the most replicated findings in social psychology. Expecting a particular outcome measurably changes behavior in ways that help produce that exact outcome. Expect to be rejected in an interview, and you unconsciously become less warm, less engaged, which makes rejection more likely. Expect a relationship to fail, and you start withholding effort to protect yourself, which is often exactly what causes it to fail. The uncomfortable part is that this feels, from the inside, like accurate prediction. It isn't. It's closer to a rigged experiment where you're both the scientist and the variable being manipulated. The test. Before an outcome happens, write down what you expect. Afterward, honestly check how much of your own behavior, not the situation, matched that expectation. This is the single most effective way to catch the pattern in real time because it's nearly invisible without an external record. Number 3. Locus of Control. Psychologist Julian Rotter's research identified something called locus of control. Essentially, whether you believe outcomes in your life are driven mainly by your own choices or mainly by external forces like luck, other people, or the system. Everyone sits somewhere on this spectrum, and it isn't fixed. It can shift. Here's the finding that surprises people. A strongly external locus of control, genuinely believing outcomes are mostly out of your hands, is consistently associated with lower effort, lower persistence, and worse outcomes over time. Not because external forces don't exist. They obviously do. But because believing your actions don't matter removes the motivation to take the specific actions that would have mattered. This is the actual mechanism behind "the system is keeping me stuck" as a belief. separate from whatever is objectively true about any given system. The belief itself becomes a second obstacle, stacked on top of whatever real one exists. The test. For one specific goal, list what's genuinely outside your control. Then list, separately, what's inside it. Most people, when they actually do this exercise, find the second list is longer than the belief predicted. Number 4. Cognitive distortions. Psychiatrist Aaron Beck and later psychologist David Burns cataloged specific recurring patterns of distorted thinking, not random negativity, but predictable categories of error. 3 matter most here. All or nothing thinking. If I can't fix this completely, there's no point trying. Reality is almost never binary, but this pattern makes partial progress feel like total failure. Catastrophizing, jumping straight to the worst case outcome as though it's the likely one, not just a possible one, which makes ordinary risks feel unbearable. Overgeneralization. One bad outcome becomes "this always happens to me," turning a single data point into a permanent rule. These aren't character flaws. They're documented, common, and this is the important part, recognizable in the moment once you know their shape. You don't have to eliminate them. You just have to catch them before they finish making your decision for you. The test. When a thought feels absolute, always, never, no point, pause and ask if it would survive being said to a neutral third party. Most catastrophizing collapses immediately once it's said out loud to someone who isn't inside your head. Number 5. Self-Handicapping. Self-handicapping is exactly what it sounds like. Creating your own obstacle in advance so that if you fail, the obstacle takes the blame instead of your actual ability. Not preparing for something important, starting too late to do it well, picking a fight right before a big opportunity. It feels like self-sabotage, because it is. But it's a very specific, very deliberate kind, aimed at protecting your self-image rather than protecting your outcome. The logic underneath it is almost rational in a distorted way. If you didn't really try, a failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It just means you didn't try. It's a way of never finding out the real answer, because the real answer might hurt more than not knowing. The test. Before starting something that matters, notice if you're doing anything that would give you a built-in excuse if it goes wrong. That's not preparation. That's insurance against having to know your actual ceiling. Here's the through line across all 5. None of these are about willpower. They're about evidence. Old evidence, misapplied to a present situation that might be completely different. The way out isn't forcing positivity over the top of these patterns. It's smaller and more specific than that. Catching the moment each one activates and asking one question. Is this belief based on what's actually true right now, or on data from a different moment entirely being applied on autopilot? That question, asked consistently, is what actually starts loosening each of these 5 patterns. Not motivation, not willpower, just noticing the mechanism while it's running. If the system is real in your specific situation, and sometimes it genuinely is, these 5 patterns are still worth clearing out first, because they're the part that's guaranteed to be within your control, regardless of what else isn't. Next video, we're going deeper on the practical side of this. Specific ways to interrupt each of these 5 in the moment they happen. Subscribe if you want that one.